Today marks day 16 of a sacred fire being held in ceremony by family members of the original descendants and inhabitants of this park. They were violently removed from the park in the 1800s for use by the city of Vancouver and sent on barges to what is now known as the North Shore. Joe Silvey, who is captured in statue in the park, is also known as Portuguese Joe. His great-great-granddaughter Brenda and other community supporters have come together to hold ceremony and keep a fire lit to honor her ancestors and raise awareness about the ongoing dispute between members of the public, the Vancouver Park Board, the City of Vancouver, and B.A. Blackwell and Associates, who has been appointed to manage the park.
Jasper had 10 years of forest thinning before it burned. And if you go through the park and look at some of the cleared areas, there's areas that have skunk cabbage drying up in the sun. So a couple of our experts pointed out the skunk cabbage and sea ferns, baking in the sun. They're all brown now in the areas that have been, they have replanted some trees, but a lot of them aren't surviving because it's too hot in September.
The struggle is real on Turtle Island for all Indigenous nations, and climate crisis is in part because of colonization and not listening to Indigenous knowledges and ways of being and knowing, and we should really be listening to the folks who are the caretakers of this land, because they know how best to take care of it, and logging the trees is not going to help with forest fires.
Sylvie's cousin, David Jeffries Quinn of the Seashell Nation, who goes by his ancestral name Papoys, which means people of the salmon, was among supporters in the community who joined Sylvie at an all-candidates meeting at the West End Community Centre on Thursday, March 27th.
The family is related to my family. We share the same great-great-grandfathers, or great-grandmothers, pardon me. The bronze statue of the Portuguese Joe Silva in Stanley Park is her family. Her great-great-great-grandmother, who is also the sister to my great-great-grandmother, who married another non-native, William Jeffries. So we share those two sisters, and mine was Hasinowit, and hers was Klakamai. And those two people are, one of them is on the statue with Portuguese Joe Silva. The other lady is a Squamish sister. So we're here today to welcome you with a song that represents our people. It's the Woman's Warrior Song. And the people that are here today with us are here to talk about the trees that have been fallen in Stanley Park. That's why I've been brought here to these ceremonies with these people. Stanley Park is dear to me. I've been playing in that park since I was 6 years old when I went to Lumberman's Arch, Second Beach. That's my playground. To see these trees come down has been a pretty good disappointment to me.
Yes.
Can you tell me just a little bit about yourself, your family history, and what connects you to this land?
Yes. What connects me is my great-great-grandfather married into Capilano tribe years ago in the 20th century, and she got married young. Her name was Klotlinut. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but that's what I was told. And then they got married, and she was very young. And then all of a sudden she got smallpox. Well, that's when they gave all these blankets. She ended up getting one, and it was infected with smallpox, and she ended up dying. And then next thing you know, the government was taking over Stanley Park, and They all was taken off of barges at night. The original people of the land here on Stanley Park.
This is part of reconciliation, and this is part of like calls to justice, and the fact that like Indigenous folks still have to be camping out and doing sacred fires for over a year for so much time is unacceptable. It's really disheartening. Like especially like as like the political climate gets worse and worse for folks who are like oppressed, like we need to be fighting harder for like Indigenous like resurgence and listening to folks who are being pushed to the sides.
Best Press Media has reached out on multiple occasions to the three host nations, Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh, to get clarity surrounding what agreement is in place between the host nations, the city, the park board, and Blackwell, but has yet not heard back.
I know that struggle. I think it's the struggle between abolition and with like working towards something in slow progression, and I absolutely understand and validate like the point of view of like abolition and needing to do things in sovereignty, and I don't think I think that both viewpoints are valid, because when we work within the systems, they never give enough power to the oppressed folks to actually make true change. And so I think that it's a conversation that needs to be had between people. Like if the governments were willing to give more power, then we wouldn't have such a struggle between the two different viewpoints. But really, they're coming from the same place of like needing to be listened to and not being listened to.
Silvey issued a cease and desist order last Wednesday to Amit Ganda, director of the park board, asking that all further tree removals be stopped within 5 days. The document maintains that the city and park board have no legal authority to be cutting down live trees on the graves of her family's ancestors.
Anyway, I'm Brenda Lee Silvey. I'm going to introduce myself in the right way. Hold it. Anyway, my ancestors we put our statue up here. So my ancestors belong here, and I have graveyards on this land all over, and they're cutting trees still. And they were supposed to, yesterday was the last day, and today they're still doing it. Anyway, we're going to be giving this to you.
And what is that, sorry?
And it's a disease order we want. For the logging.
On the logging?
Yeah,
So this is for me?
yeah.
Okay.
Ganda declined to comment when Best Press spoke with him that day. Our publication has since followed up with the city and park board to get a response, but as of yet have received none. Tree removal appears to have stopped the following day following the cease and desist, as well as the community all candidates meeting, but has since continued with tree removal happening in the early morning hours. The Save Stanley Park Society has filed their second lawsuit against the forestry company and the city and are awaiting their court date. The court case contains affidavits and expert witnesses in the field of sustainability, arboriculture, ecology, natural resource management, environmental policy, as well as forest fire management, all citing concerns about the methods being used to extract vegetation and trees from the park, concerns about endangered wildlife that live in the park, as well as the potential for further damage and escalation of the same issues that Blackwell claims to be mitigating. Best Press reached out to Blackwell last week and was told there is no one from the company willing to speak with the media.
Afternoon, Dave Blackwell. Monica speaking.
Hi, Monica. My name is Emily Beth. I am a journalist, and I'm doing a story on the Park Board and Blackwell's agreement with the removal of trees at Stanley Park. Is there somebody who I can chat with at Blackwell who is, I guess, in the loop about it, or in kind of a decision-making capacity that would be open to chatting with the media about what's going on and the project?
Sorry, and who are you with?
Best Press Media. Yeah, I'm a journalist in Vancouver.
Okay. You know what? Let me just. Honestly, I don't know anything about the project, and I don't know anything about the media policy for it. So I'll just put you on hold for a second, see what someone else.
No worries. Sounds good.
Okay. Cool.
Thanks for holding. We'll be with you shortly.
Hi there.
Hi.
Hi. Unfortunately, no one's available. But thanks so much for calling.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Great. So no one's available. There's no media line. There's nobody that I can contact, or.
There's no one available in the office to talk. But thanks for calling.
Okay. Is there? So there's no statement from Blackwell. There's nobody at the company that I can speak with.
No one's available to comment. Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks
for your time.
Okay. Bye.
You're watching Best Press Media. I'm Emily Best. News needs to be empowering, and that is why Best Press Media is hoping to change the landscape of how you consume your media and how you stay informed, with wellness at the forefront. If you'd like to support us, you can visit us on Instagram at Best Press Media. You can also support our Patreon page at Best Press Media. And stay tuned, we'll be updating our website at www.bestpress.ca. Thank you.